So if you have any questions, maybe you're working on riffs and runs, maybe you've been doing it for a long time, even if you have like your own personal tip, this is time to talk and share. So I have a question. I'll start off the round, and it's just because it's something I experience. Um, I experience this regularly. Is people with all these great options, right? You've given us so much brain stimulus, and now people are ready to go out like, wow, I've got so many things I can try out. First question, what do I do? Where do I start? Most singers like, oh, okay, where do I start?
Yes, right. So, depends on the level you're at, and always start at the level you're at, but with one foot outside of the comfort zone, so that you kind of go in. Okay, I'm got one foot inside. I'm okay. And if that is musical notes and improvisation, and Ericsson also mentioned, do you recommend learning all the scales and modes? So modes being that you just start. So if that's the uh, normal major scale, then other modes will just be starting at different places and different scales, which includes obviously what becomes an actual minor scale. And in theory, it's great if we could all know everything, but our brains work so differently. So I think if you're a starter where you already think music theory is scary, no. I would start recognizing minor and major, because that's super useful when you're improvising to know whether you're going to go L or, and the difference of and has a great out, like it's really important in what comes out. But if you're going to start with three scales or three things to add to your vocal warm-ups, I would do the harmonic minor, the major scale, and the minor blues scale. And that would be my first three to play around with. Phrygian is kind of funky and fun for many, but that the pentatonic or the minor blues scale, because so much in pop, rock, and R&B, soul, gospel is over that. So I will teach that a little bit in case somebody is a little bit new with that, and then we have something to start with. I'm going to do really slow, and I use silly language. So I go, I can, and some of you might have heard me do this before if any of my students are watching. I can sing. And what you have is, I can, minor third, I can sing, whole tone, happy birthday to the whole tone, right? I can sing, and then half tone, half tone. So you got, I can sing the blues, I can sing the blues scale, minor third, right? I'm not doing it bluesy. And this is actually something, the first thing I would do when I'm learning a riff or learning a scale, whatever, is doing it in a flimsy, balanced voice. Because your vocal folds will get the information of what frequency they need to get to. And all the notes are just different frequencies. Every semitone is a 6% increase of frequencies. Every octave is a doubling or a half of the frequencies. Right? So I can sing the blues scale, and then we add the octave. Now I sing the blues scale, I sing the blues scale. Oh, that's a bit low. I can sing the blues scale now, I sing the blues scale now, I sing the blues scale now. Where I was just kind of playing around, and that I would do. I definitely haven't warmed up enough for that, but and a round of air. But I would obviously not start with a 3 octave with somebody who's starting out. I might just go, right? And the funny thing with the blues one, you can kind of sing that, I can sing the same scale over major chord and a minor chord and a major chord is harder, right? So that's why that's a useful one to learn, because in more bluesier styles you can kind of sing that over other things as well. When we know that, now I sing the blues scale in a very non-bluesy way, we might then add vowels and consonants that mimic the sounds that we want. And if you think about a contra bass, or like a grand piano, it's big, it boosts loads of lower frequencies. So if I cup my hands here, I will boost lower frequencies. So my voice sounds lower than it does normally. I've got quite a bright voice, right? Massive mouth. So I can make a bigger instrument by adding more resonance space here. We can do that on the inside as well. So by dropping my larynx, I can make, and I'm kind of lifting my palate, and I'm creating as much space as I can inside here. I might do something, if I wanted to sound less bright, I might go whoa, 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 if that's something I want to work on. If I wanted to sound more bratty and more kind of ba 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 ba. But what happened then? Because the ah and the ba for me is because of myelination, and I used to pull chest like there was no tomorrow. Then I have a tendency to pull a little bit there. So I would probably go to a ba 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 twang ba 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 to make sure I'm not just shouting and compressing that, because you can increase pitch either by increasing tension or by handing over to the other muscles and stretching the vocal folds. Not quite as that much, but so that is where I would start. I'm just chatting now. And
No, it's great. I think it's great. And I mean, if you're just starting off with this, I always have to remind myself, if anytime I'm learning something new, you're like, I'm excited, then like the information starts rolling in, you're like, hmm, it's so difficult. But let's be, you didn't start off just whipping that out like that, in the beginning. It was built in layers, right? So be patient with yourselves. If you're just learning, it's all about patience and just introducing one little element at a time. But I think that's so much. I love the I can sing a blues scale. I love that.